Welcome to the exciting rebirth of Superstar, featuring choose your membership rate as low as just $3 a month. At Superstar, you get expanded, exclusive video scopes each and every week, unlimited access to special horoscopes, class passes for Synchronicity University, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. Hello, fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of April 11, 2021. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological week, and we begin the week on an intense but hopeful and filled with possibility new moon in Aries. Now, new moons bring with them new beginnings. They represent a seed moment that ultimately can flourish and come together in sometimes powerful ways, especially 6 months down the road once we have a full moon in the same sign. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. And so you put these together and it represents powerful beginnings that might seem impulsive on the surface, but are filled with faith, filled with hope and energy of people wanting to follow through with action. But here's the thing, there's also a lot of intensity and even frustration as part of this particular new moon. And it isn't just about what's happening with this singular new moon, but because we have Venus nearby, Mercury nearby, what is transpiring now and what feels like a beginning, what feels like fresh perspectives, can also be very all-encompassing in some way. It isn't just about a fresh start in one area of life, but how it is that is speaking to many different areas of life at the same time. So let's talk about the intensity, and then we'll talk about the more empowered and hopeful energy of this time. The intensity, well, that's Pluto. Pluto is speaking in a conversation of tension with this new moon that astrologers call a square. And when we have squares of Pluto, it can feel as if we are up against certain forces that are larger than us in some way. It is ultimately an exercise in understanding where we have power, but more importantly, where we don't. And powerlessness can be one of the themes. Power games can be one of the themes of this time. But it is in acknowledging where we don't have power that we actually can end up being empowered. Remember, Pluto is considered the higher frequency of Mars. That is one way that Pluto has been conceptualized. And I always think of this energy as deeply connected to the serenity affirmation, which is grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now we've got all three on offer here, right? So we have that sense of realizing or having to accept, even when it's hard, the things that we have no power over. Finding acceptance gives us power. But also courage is highlighted here, right? This is an Aries new moon after all. It has to do with harnessing and owning our will. Understanding that we do have a power within us to move our lives in a particular direction, that all of us, no matter what our starting point may be, has a certain amount of agency that we can exercise to move our lives in the direction that we choose. The fact that Mars is speaking in harmony, a type of conversation that astrologers call a sextile, well, that tells me that the courage element is high. And given that Mars is in the sign of Gemini, the energy of mind, we are learning to harness our minds and our thoughts to align with a more courageous action. And wisdom. The wisdom here is Jupiter. Jupiter is also speaking in harmony with this new moon. And Jupiter also in an air sign, having to do with thoughts and how we're directing our thoughts, but also in the sign of Aquarius, how we are communicating with others and communicating at large. How we are thinking of others and our place among others is a part of this energy that can uplift us at this time. Now, let me just come back to that Pluto for a moment, because Pluto, of course, and squares of Pluto, I do want to acknowledge They can feel frustrating, they can feel difficult, they can feel hard, and yet we can be empowered through that. Do your best, surrender the rest. That is always the lesson when we have these tougher transits playing out, especially where it comes to Pluto. And we can also choose not to participate in certain power struggles, power games. Now, it may not be easy, but disengagement, healthy detachment, ultimately can empower us that much more to realize how we can actually be more strategic and more effective, ultimately using our will to our better advantage. I would also add, with Pluto, we become aware of where we have power to change. And we get to choose as well, are we going to be a force of healthy transformation? Are we going to elevate the energy? Or are we going to play those games? Are we going to participate because they are so alluring? They are so addictive. They invite us to access an energy that for some can feel like life. For some can feel like emotional awareness or an emotional roller coaster that they've associated with a feeling of life. But that doesn't have to be the case. We can choose differently. And I think that's part of what Mars and Jupiter, speaking with this new moon, is inviting us to do. So let's talk about that Mars and Jupiter. They are forming what is called a triangle of potential with this new moon. So Mars and Jupiter themselves are doing something phenomenal this week that I'm so excited about. If you remember last week, Mars was squaring Neptune. That is a difficult energy. That is an emotional roller coaster that some of us went on. Or it can also be a sense of not feeling secure, not feeling grounded. Well, it is that energy that turns around in powerful ways. As we move further and further into the week, Mars and Jupiter will perfect a trine, a supremely harmonious connection. But we won't have to wait until the end of the week to feel the blessing of this energy, because of that new moon standing between them, or at least mediating their connection rather. And it is this beautiful connection that forms a larger triangle in the sky, triangle of potential. And this triangle of potential invites us not only to just allow the blessings to happen, which is part of the trine, but to be proactive with it, to understand that there are actions that we can take to improve our circumstances, to be energized, to feel filled with faith. That is part of this Mars-Jupiter trine. Now, this is an air playing out, and with that fire moon, it is the thoughts, it is the conversations, it is the synchronistic encounters that we have, being in the right place at the right time, connecting with the right person, and it makes all the difference. It is these very encounters that ultimately spark us, awaken us to use our will to our advantage, spark us to understand where it is and how it is we can take action to move our lives forward in beautiful ways. What is it that your truth is? What lights you up, right? What gives you juice? What is that spark to your soul? That is what Aries asks. Aries is the energy of the first breath, according to one of our greats, Dane Rudyard, the godfather, if you will, of psychological astrology. And he called the energy of Aries that energy of the first breath. So what is it that feels like it lights you up at that level, at that cellular respiratory level, where it feels like life, it feels like breathing? It's natural on the one hand, but also enlivening as well. It reminds you that you are alive. We all have that one thing that fills us with childlike wonder. And unfortunately, we judge it sometimes. We look at it and we say, oh, that's just something I do. That's something interesting. That's something silly. And it is in judging it that ultimately we forget that it's actually quite magical. It's quite magical when you find something, that thing, that just gives you a spark, that gives you that little bit of a lift, that gives you juice. It is this Aries new moon that's going to invite us to consider what that is. And the rest of the week will be spent with the universe setting the stage, lining it up so that we make the most of that spark when we come to realize it. So as the new moon starts the week, on Tuesday, the sun will connect in harmony with Mars, perfect its connection with Mars. On Thursday, connect with Jupiter in harmony. But it is at the end of the week. As I said, we've got all these aspects happening. The sun connecting with Pluto, Mercury activating Mars and Jupiter, but Pluto as well. And what that tells me is awareness, mind level awareness, plans, information, all of it coming together. And so it isn't just about the new moon, but how the universe invites us to flush out its energies to ensure we're making the most of it. How it invites us to think of things differently and in new ways, even when it's hard, because it's good for us. How it invites us to consider what plans we may have and to be enthusiastic and excited about it, but at the same time to acknowledge that there may be certain factors that are not in our power and to find peace with that. Where it is that we are tapping into our most optimistic self, our most empowered self, we're able to tap into some of the best that this energy promises. Where it is perhaps that we are giving into the allure of some of those power games, that is where we may need to be a little bit careful, but gosh, can they be very alluring at this time. Now, Venus is part of this as well. On Monday, Venus is going to connect in a conversation of tension with Pluto. If you remember last week, Venus was doing some beautiful connections with Mars, with Jupiter, but it is now that Venus, as she connects with Pluto in tension under the light of this new moon, that we may find love to be especially complicated as well. In fact, these squares of Pluto and Venus can make love feel very faded. We can feel very pulled in a particular direction, but also very aware of how complicated things are. In fact, the messier the better for some people out there. I do want to be honest about that. And that's what we see. We are realizing and having to look at how messy a particular attraction or situation or desire may be. We may have to look at this in layers as well, because Venus, yes, she is about love and attraction, but she also speaks to the pleasures of life. And where it is that perhaps we need to take a more measured approach to some of the things that we have found pleasure in, well, it is going to be this particular aspect that invites us to look at what it's actually costing us. Where it is perhaps we're spending too much energy, too much time, maybe being drained in some way. And ultimately, this moment of truth helps us to find balance. It is going to be on Wednesday that Venus will change signs, moving into her home sign of Taurus. This is just lovely. Venus will celebrate. Love starts to feel easier as well, more beautiful overall. We're able to tap into an energy of love and beauty that much easier as a collective. So this is Venus coming home. And just like when you're at home, you're able to be more comfortable, able to feel like you're able to be more you. That's what Venus will be able to do here. And Venus in the sign of Taurus invites us to find pleasure in the sensory experience of life. Invites us to consider how beautiful it is to be able to appreciate the sensory experience of life. Now, all is not easy breezy. Next week is going to be the most shocking love day of the year. I'll be here to talk about it every step of the way, I tell you. And so if you have any kind of romantic surprises that you're hoping to do, I would say do them now. Do them. This would be the time, even though nothing is ever perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Next week, romantic surprises really do not go off as expected. They really can take a very shocking twist and turn. So it's a good idea to stay focused on the here and the now. And Venus in Taurus, in and of herself, beautiful energy. In and of herself invites us to be present and to enjoy the earthly experience. This is the earthly Aphrodite that Socrates spoke of. So in Symposium by Plato, Socrates talks about the difference between earthly Aphrodite and celestial Aphrodite. And when I was reading this as a student, I remember thinking, oh my God, this is Taurus and Libra right here. This is Venus and Taurus, Venus and Libra. That's how I think, right? As an astrologer, that's what I'm thinking. But yes, it is Venus in the sign of Taurus that is earthly Aphrodite, the pleasures of flesh, the pleasures of the senses. The reason that we are incarnated is varied, of course, right? There are so many lessons, so many joys of being a human being and being incarnated at this time. But one of those lessons, one of those reasons is to be embodied, to be in a physical body, and the pleasures that it brings, the pleasures of sight, of sound, of taste, of smell, of touch. These are the five senses that are celebrated by earthly Aphrodite. These are the five senses that are especially heightened by us when Venus moves into this sign as well. Now, in the energy of Taurus, it is the way that particular fabrics feel, the way that we're able to move in particular clothing that is going to become especially important to us, because Venus, of course, is style as well. And so I do think more of us are going to be celebrating just being able to move and to feel good as we are. This is a very goddess energy as well. And so wherever it is that you are and whomever it is you are, whatever your gender identity may be, we all have that sense of the sacred feminine within us. And that is something that I think more of us are going to be tapping into more fully, especially once Venus moves into the sign of Taurus. What I love about this week for us, well, look, there's so much here. What a powerful astrological time. It is a very active sky. Remember that. And a lot of the activity really peaks at the end of the week. Yes, we've got that intense new moon. Make no mistake, Pluto squaring an Aries new moon. Oh boy, are we going to be feeling that? That is tension. That is desire. That may be frustration. That may be a desire for some power to own our sense of what we can do, but also realizing where we are powerless. But I think the big saving grace this week is going to be Mars trine Jupiter. This is beautiful energy. What felt so uncertain, what felt so fluid last week in a way that might not have been comfortable, now finds its footing. A footing that is inspired, that is philosophical, that is enthusiastic, that understands how we think of things and how we communicate things and about things can shape them. I've shared before, consciousness changes physical reality. That is part of this beautiful energy of Mars and Jupiter, but it is also the energy of Mars and Jupiter here that invites us to own our power to dream big, to have faith in ourselves and in our future, and to see our inspiration and our most bold ideas through with courage in our heart to fruition. Well, thank you so much for watching. What do you love about this week? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading you guys. And to prove it to you, here are some of my most recent favorites. Thank you so much to everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, shares, thumbs up, all of it. It means so much to me. It really does. I love interacting with you guys so very much. So thank you for the love and support that you continue to give to my channel and to new viewers or those of you who've been here for the last almost 13 years now. I thank you and my love to each and every one of you. If you would like to know how all of this wonderful stuff speaks to you in your sign, you can now get Superstar at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com for as low as just $3 a month. $3 a month gives you access to all signs, weekly videos. Higher tiers get you unlimited access to all of the special horoscopes that I produce. They give you access to class passes, even consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space, live events with me, and so much more in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Link is in the description below. I look forward to meeting you there. Synchronicity University All-Star Speaker Series is almost underway. It starts in May, and Choose Your Tuition Rate is on right now for about another 3 weeks or so maximum. So for 3 more weeks, you can choose your tuition rate as low as just $5 a class. To hear this caliber of speakers really is incredible, and I'm so pleased to offer them to you. I have to say, I love being able to share other astrologers with you guys, and these are really some big stars right now in astrology. We have the one and only Stormie Grace. Now, Stormie is a YouTube star as well. She's going to be teaching on magical Mercury retrograde. We have Rachel Schwartz. She is one of the leading world experts in Kabbalistic astrology. Kabbalistic astrology is something that a lot of students were asking me for, and so I got one of the brightest and best in the world to teach us, so I'm very excited about that. We have my friend Armand Diaz. Now, he has written, I think, 2 books. I know at least one, but I think it's 2 books on the astrology of breakups. And he is going to be teaching a class on that, on the astrology of breakups. So how can you see when a breakup is going to happen? Well, he's going to teach us some of those techniques to help us to understand those transits. My friend Akuta at Nightlight Astrology, he is going to be teaching mystical Saturn. Isn't that incredible? So we'll be looking at Saturn from a more mystical perspective, and I'm really looking forward to that as well. He's also a huge YouTube star at Nightlight Astrology. And my dear friend at Unlock Astrology, Samuel Reynolds, he's going to be teaching on the lunar nodes, roping in your nodes. So that's always a very popular topic that people love to learn more about and get other perspectives on. So the May speaker series is right around the corner. Choose Your Tuition Rate is on right now until the end of the month. Limited amount of scholarships are available as well. Now, if you are a titanium or platinum level superstar, you're already registered, so there's nothing else to do. But everybody else, yes, just $5 a class at synchronicityuniversity.com. Link is in the description below. Synchronicity University, Michael Barwick is back with traditional techniques for the 21st century astrologer. Traditional astrology is something that a lot of students have been asking about as well. And Michael Barwick is my astrologer. I have shared him with you. I've showed you how brilliant he is. And he is the person that I go to when I need another astrological perspective. I really think he's one of the best astrologers out there. He had a very popular class with us on fixed stars. So now he's back. He's going to be teaching traditional techniques. We're going to be looking at some of the big topics in traditional astrology with him, including the Arabic parts / Hellenistic lots. And we're going to be looking at debilities and joys. We're going to be looking at temperament and so much more. And so come join us. It's a 5-week course as low as just $5 a class, which for a traditional astrology course is really unheard of. But he really is one of the best to teach it, and bringing it to synchronicityuniversity.com makes the class that much more accessible to more people out there. Again, limited amount of scholarships are available, and titanium and platinum level superstars are already registered. But everybody out there are very, very welcome. He is going to be taking it really from the beginning, taking it one step at a time. So you're able to apply the techniques right away, regardless of your starting point, regardless if you're a beginner or more advanced student. There's something you can gain by considering how the ancients understood our practice and how they actually practiced, what techniques they actually used. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to learn a lot together as well. So synchronicityuniversity.com to sign up for Michael Barwick's traditional astrology techniques class for the 21st century astrologer. Link is in the description below. My own classes with synchronicityuniversity.com are underway now, and coming up this week I'm going to be teaching on the astrology of scandals and accusations. So I think this is going to be a really fun and lively class. We are going to be looking at the charts of some people who were accused of things or were in the midst of scandals, and what was happening there, what transits were happening, what came together, how the outcome came about, and all of that. So we're going to be having a lot of fun looking at some famous charts, looking at some case studies, and striving to understand what happens when these accusations take place, these scandals take place. And there's lots more classes that are coming up this spring as well, including classes on the 7th house of partnership, which I know a lot of students are looking forward to, class on the galactic center and the great attractor, and so much more. You can learn more about my classes with me at synchronicityuniversity.com. Link is in the description below. MyoAstrology.com All-Star event is right around the corner. It's coming up this weekend, and I'm going to be teaching along with some of the biggest stars in astrology today. Really so very honored to be asked to participate in this incredible event. And my discount code still works. So NAD50, NAD50 gets you 50% off the price, which is just £99. So it is a London-based event, an English-based event. So it's in pounds, yes, but it's only £99, and you get to hear and learn from some of the most brilliant speakers in the world today, and really stars, big stars in astrology today. And so thank you again to myoastrology.com for asking me to participate in this event. And you can click on the link in the description below, and I look forward to meeting you there this coming weekend at myoastrology.com. And you can get my take on your unique birth chart by logging on to Cosmogram. Check out the link in the description below. Now at Cosmogram, they have some discounts on their site as well, discount codes available. And what happens is you go onto their website, you enter in your birth data, and within hours, you are emailed a PDF report. And that report looks at your planets and explains the different planetary placements in your chart. And those explanations are written by me. And it is very exciting to be able to offer this. I am very excited that there are so many people who have been so enthusiastic about these reports, who've loved these reports. Thank you so much. So if you go to the link in the description below and you click on the Cosmogram website, what happens there is that there is a sample report as well. So you are going to know exactly what you're going to get. And then, as I said, you enter your birth data, within hours, you get your report that I hope you will cherish forever to give you insights into yourself and your unique birth chart. So this is my partnership with Cosmogram. Link is in the description below. And thank you. Thank you so much for this moment with you. In honor of this Aries New Moon, I did wear my Muhammad Ali shirt. Now, he was not an Aries. He was a Capricorn with a lot of planets in Aquarius. But yes, he had a lot of power, didn't he? He sort of is that athlete, warrior archetype that we love so much. So in honor of that, I decided to wear it. And I am just really grateful to have this moment with you. I should also mention before I let you go, sort of informally right now, that I am relocating to Mexico City. So a little personal stuff about me that I don't really like to talk about myself. The truth is I don't like to talk about myself, which is why I love what I do so much. I love my work. I love my purpose. I love that you are here, and I'm so grateful that you are here to help me to fulfill my purpose. But I lived in Cancun for 8 years, and 7 of those years were in a relationship, and my relationship ended, and I relocated to Puerto Vallarta, and that was about 4 months ago. And so now I'm relocating to Mexico City. So I'm looking forward to being back in Mexico City. And then at some point, Canada will open its borders and I'll go home and I'll figure out my next steps. But I'm very excited about this time in my life and this time of transition. And so, yes, I'm really looking forward to being back in Mexico City. I actually spent an extended amount of time there in 2017. So I sort of was in Cancun, but mostly in Mexico City in 2017. And so now to be back, and there's such an incredible, vibrant astrology community. Even though people aren't really meeting right now, one-on-one meetings are happening. And so I am going to be seeing a limited amount of people for consultations in Mexico City. So consultations with me in Mexico City are going to start taking place the last week of April and first week of May in the Historic Center. So if you are in the Mexico City area and you would like to meet and sit down and have me look at your chart and read your chart, I would love to do that. And I think that that could be a beautiful moment. It will be socially distant. We will be outdoors. But yes, I will be reading charts and meeting friends and fans in Mexico City. So if you are in the CDMX area and you would like to meet and you would like me to look at your chart, please use the contact form on my website at nadiyashah.com. And there, just let us know. Just let me know, let my team know rather. And we will make sure that you get all the information you need and we can move forward from there. So I'm looking forward to meeting friends and fans. And yes, it is a time of transition. That happens. Transitions happen when Jupiter is in your sign, as Jupiter is in my sun sign right now. But it's good and it feels right. And it is a city that I completely love so much, with so much of my being. And I'm really looking forward to being back and communing with an incredible city, with incredible people, meeting some of my very dear astrologer friends, and meeting new friends and fans and superstars and clients in Mexico City as well. So I look forward to meeting you there. And of course, I'm going to be here and I'll keep teaching online and I'll keep making these videos as I do from around the world, no matter where I go. But I'm looking forward to that. Thank you to Puerto Vallarta. Puerto Vallarta really helped me so much. This city helped me so much to heal. I was grieving when I came here 4 months ago. And now it feels really good to be so open to life and to be so excited about what's up ahead and to be embracing this next adventure and to be relocating again. And thank you. Thank you for walking this journey with me. I don't always share my life and what's going on, and I am private in many ways, but I love that I can be of service and that I have your trust, that you continue to share your journey with me. All of it, it means so, so very much to me. In this time of transition, it has been my work that has given me purpose, that has reminded me of my purpose, especially when I really needed it. And for that and for you, I am so eternally grateful. Thank you. Thank you again for watching. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.